What's up, Leafs Nation? Welcome back to another game preview. I'm Zack Phillips, and today we're going to be taking a look at game number 50 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season. We'll dig into the lineups, injury news, call-ups, who's playing, who's not playing, and we'll get into our best bet. All of that and more is a presentation of Bet365, proud partner of the Leafs Nation pregame and the Leafs Nation After Dark. Open an account with Bet365 today. Bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N, all caps, code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Okay, let's start here with the lines and what our injury news is here. So obviously, Matthew Knies will not go. He got injured the other day against Columbus Blue Jackets, did not return to the game. We saw him skating with the return to play team the other day, but not going to return tonight against Ottawa, and I honestly don't think it makes sense. Even if you're like slightly banged up, there's no point. The team is not hurting for wins or points or anything like that at this point. Let these guys heal. Let them get healthy. Like, playoffs is all that matters. You're at the top of the standings. Let's just ride it out. Let's get back to full health. So I don't really care. Matthew Knies will not play here tonight. Jacob Quillen gets his NHL debut. Connor Dewar also injured, which allowed the recall of Nikita Grabenkin from the Marlies. So those are your kind of moving pieces here tonight. The other thing that we did see out of morning skate here today was that Matt Murray, Joseph Woll, and you guessed it, Anthony Stolarz were on the ice this morning for the Maple Leafs. All three goalies out there in Ottawa. So Stolarz likely nearing a return. Obviously, you're not going to just throw him in. You're carrying Matt Murray. Probably just makes the most sense to continue on and get him 100% healthy. There's no need for any rushing back for any of these guys, as I had already mentioned. Let's get into our lineups for this game here tonight, and we'll start with the top line, and that would be where we see Bobby McMann slide up into the first line left wing position, and honestly, deserving. Bobby McMann has been unbelievable. He got the early scratch in game one. Craig Berube wasn't impressed with his preseason. He hadn't shown him enough. He didn't look that great. There was concern from myself, at least, that McMann might have plateaued in development, or maybe the injury had set him back. I wasn't really sure, but he has proven from that point that he deserves to be in the lineup every night, and he's been a Swiss Army knife. Like, the thing for me when I look at Bobby McMann is how often in the past did we look at Calle Yarncroke and Alex Kerfoot and Ilya Mikheyev and look at these guys and you're like, and we were always told, you know what, they can play up and down the lineup. You know, they can play on your first line left wing. If you need them to, you can play on the third line left wing, or they're guys that can fit in any positions, you know, penalty kills, second power plays, whatever. No, this is the real Swiss Army knife with a guy like Bobby McMann. He's big, he's heavy, he's fast, he's hard on the forecheck, he can score goals, he finishes hits, he also can kill penalties, he's defensively responsible. Like, that is the Swiss Army knife. He gets a go here alongside Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner tonight. Down to your second line, where you are still looking for something from Max Domi. He's going to go second line left winger with William Nylander. Honestly, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that Bobby McMann has earned himself a position in the top line, I wouldn't have mind seeing Max Domi up there to just try to like get him going and get something with Austin Matthews and see what you could generate. Not going to be the case. He's going to go alongside Pontus Holmberg and William Nylander, and that will be your Maple Leafs second line. I don't have any other notes on them. Obviously, this is going to be on Willie to kind of carry a little bit here. Domi needs to get going. Pontus Holmberg, he actually played better the other day, but he was buzzing around a little bit over the last week, but like consistency. That's the name of the game. Steven Lorentz, David Kampf, Nick Robertson will be your third line tonight, and fourth line, Jacob Quillen, Fraser Minton, and Ryan Reeves. The first two made sense. The third one, we'll see how that goes. We'll see what the leash will be. I'm very curious how these guys are going to blend, like how they're going to work with Ryan Reeves. I think the name of the game here tonight for that group is keep it simple. Like, let's not do too much. You're playing with Reeves. Jacob Quillen's getting in his first game. Bring energy, finish checks. Like, don't do too much here. Fraser Minton, I'm becoming more and more trusting of this guy. He feels more and more reliable every time I watch him play NHL games. He's going to go as your fourth line center, but it's the combination of the two kids and Ryan Reeves that is eyebrow-raising, to say the least. That will be your forward lines for this Maple Leafs team here tonight. Before we continue on and get to our defense, I want to remind people that if you're looking for not an ordinary vacation, you should be joining us on the Nation Vacation, March 20th to 23rd. Myself, Jay Rosehill, Nick Alberga, producer Vic, Carter Hutton, David Pagnotta, as Nick mentioned the other day, will be down in Nashville March 20th to 23rd, taking in the action, watching the Leafs play the Preds. We'll do live podcasts. We'll go on a winery tour. We'll also be at Carter Hutton's bar, which will be a very cool experience. We have flight packages, non-flight packages, whatever it is that you are looking for. Make sure to check it out over at nationgear.ca. That's nationgear.ca. Check out all the packages available. Flight, non-flight, whatever floats your boat, but you don't want to miss it. nationgear.ca, make sure to head on over there and check that out. Let's get now to our defensive pairings for tonight, and it's not really anything much different than what we've been seeing over the last little while, other than a minor tweak. We're going to see, as your first pairing here for the Maple Leafs tonight, you've got Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Chris Tanev, Morgan Rielly and Jake McCabe, and then down to your third pair, Simone Benoit and Philippe Myers. Philippe Myers comes in for Connor Timmins, and I think this just makes sense. Connor Timmins has struggled recently. He started the year off hot. He looked like he had found new life. He was this player that we could rely on and trust, and then over time it's kind of gone to the wayside, and it feels like Berube doesn't have that trust in him anymore. So here we are, bouncing between a couple of defensemen on that bottom pair, which I don't think is a bad thing. I mean, next man up mentality. I don't really feel like we're at a point with any of these defensemen that we're having the Martin Marincin, Justin Hall conversation, which is a comforting place to be, at least. It feels like this is probably the best defensive group we've put together in a long time. But regardless, you're rotating through, and maybe at some point you would like some stability. Maybe at some point you would just like, hey, those are for sure the guys. We don't have to worry about going in and out, in and out, in and out. But Philippe Myers goes in, Connor Timmins goes out, so not overly concerned there. As for our power play unit for tonight, 5-man unit, Matthew Knies out, Max Domi gets to take his spot, the 5-forward power play unit that is. I don't know. The power play, we've said all we could say about it this year so far, I think. Let's get clicking. Let's get going here. 5 forwards, Knies, Domi, I don't care. The main pieces are there. Nylander, Matthews, and Marner. Between those guys, there should be enough skill and ability to be able to create chances and be able to get on the board. Let's get this thing going here, and let's get some consistency. Let's start to look dangerous. Let's get pucks on net. I don't know. Let's just simplify maybe. Maybe that's all it has to be. But Max Domi steps in there. The second power play unit sees OEL, Nylander, again, obviously, as he's playing the full 2 minutes, Morgan Rielly, Fraser Minton, and Nick Robertson. So there's your lines for this Maple Leafs team here tonight. As for your goalies, and we can find those over on Daily Faceoff, as always. That's where I'm going for any kind of roster updates, line combinations, goaltending matchups, however it is that you want to break it out, whatever it is that you might be looking for when it comes to lineups and rosters and all that kind of stuff. You can find it over on Daily Faceoff. It looks like for this Maple Leafs team here tonight, we are going to get Joseph Woll. On the other end for Ottawa, Anton Forsberg is confirmed. So there are your goaltenders for tonight. Now, with that said, let's get to our best bet. Presentation of Bet365, proud partner of Leafs Nation pregame and Leafs Nation After Dark. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N. That's code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Okay, if you've been following along, well, hopefully things are going positive for you. If you have bet every single bet that we have on this year, you got to hear me out for a second. We have bet 52 times this season. There's only 49 games, and we didn't do one for the Vancouver game the other day because Nick did the pregame that day. So we're getting a bunch of double best bets in here too on some of these games. Of 52 bets, our record is 17-35. And I know that sounds terrible. But our units, if you're betting the same units we are, you're getting the same prices, which you should be because you should be opening an account with Bet365, code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N, all caps, you would be up 1.25 units on the year. It's not a lot, but you would be up. We are positive on the season. We went on a bit of a freezer. It was like a 10-game freezer there. And then we have now turned it around and won the last 4 in a row. Looking to make it 5 here tonight with another anytime goal scorer. That's the direction I'm looking to go. And when I give this one to you guys, I think you're going to understand, and I think you'll be on board. I talked about the lines and what we're seeing and who's playing with who. And sometimes when you see stuff like that, you can kind of see a guy and say, hey, that's someone who might have themselves a night here tonight. That's someone who might be able to take advantage of the opportunity that they're given and be able to jump at it and be able to capitalize and show, hey, I deserve to be here. I deserve to be given these opportunities and in these spots. I deserve more runway. I deserve more minutes. And for me tonight, the guy that I'm looking for to be able to do that and capitalize on that is Bobby McMann. I head over to Bet365. I'm seeing a number that I don't like. I love here right now. Jumping over and right now currently sitting at plus 325. We're going to bet a half unit on this one. Bobby McMann plus 325 anytime goal scorer. That's the direction I'm heading. Probably going to take a look as things continue to filter in and we get more stuff for Ottawa here. Maybe I want to maybe take other looks here at William Nylander. You know, how he elevates his play when he becomes the man and he's the guy on the line. I'm not entirely sure if that is something I will or will not be betting, but honestly, it's definitely worth a look every time William Nylander pops up. And, you know, you can see him there at Bet365 right now, plus 170. Like, those are kind of things that jump out to me. But Bobby McMann plus 325 anytime goal scorer is going to be my best bet for tonight. I just think that he's a guy who has really elevated his play. I think that he's got some goal scoring. He's on the first power play unit. Like, he's going to get tons of chances. And barring him having a terrible game or just some awful plays, I mean, this seems like a night that Bobby McMann could capitalize here in the Battle of Ontario with the Leafs fans making it feel like a home game out there in Ottawa. So Bobby McMann anytime goal is your best bet. $50 on this one would profit you $162.50. That's all we've got for today's game preview. If you did enjoy this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe here. Leafs Nation 401 right here on YouTube, whether it is game previews, Leafs Morning Take, Monday to Friday, 11 a.m., or if it's my show on the After Dark, breaking down everything, taking callers. We had 3 callers the other day after the game against the Columbus Blue Jackets. You want to call into the show? Stop by the After Dark. Give your opinions. Give your thoughts. Tell us how you feel about the game, the lines, the coaching, whatever it may be. Anything and everything about this Maple Leafs team is on the table. We will see you guys following tonight's game, game number 50 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season, breaking it all down, talking about Leafs, Sens, and hopefully a big victory, because you know what? Screw the Senators. Like, there's no polite way to say it. Screw the Senators. Run them out of their own building. Let's get a massive win tonight. We'll see you guys on the post-game show. Until then, keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take, Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos. Make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.